Okay, today we are going to do oven baked chicken wings, and they are yummy and they are nice and crispy. So what I have here is my chicken wings that I have rinsed, dried with a paper towel so they're pretty dry. I have 1 cup of flour in my container here, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So I have 1 cup of flour that I already measured. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Remember, when you measure, you want to drop it in. 1, 2, right? 2 tablespoons of baking powder in here. And then I'm going to add, according to my flavor, what I like. Celery salt, sprinkled. Sprinkle it in however you want. It's kind of a personal preference on this. A little bit of garlic. This is just granulated garlic from Costco. Pepper. Salt. Video is pointing where I want it to be and recording, and yes it is. Okay, so I have all my ingredients in here that I want. I'm just going to kind of toss them in here to mix them up, make sure they're all mixed up good. Oven is preheating at 450 degrees. I'm making about 15 or 16 wings, so I don't know exactly how many that I have there, but so you can see, I'm going to grab my chicken wing and make sure it's dry with a paper towel. I've already dried it once before. It's open like this. I'm going to dry it again just to make sure, because the flour will stick nicely if it's dried good. Okay. We're going to coat these in this flour mixture with the baking soda. Actually, sorry, baking powder. Okay, once I get them all really well coated, I'm going to take the wing, push the little pointy part behind the head part, stick it on my baking sheet with parchment paper. So once I get them all, and they often don't stay like this, but that's okay. And I want to have them on my baking sheet so they're not touching. They need to be spaced apart, because if they're touching, they won't get crispy as much. Okay? Okay, I have all my chicken that is floured and put on my baking dishes, or my cookie sheets with parchment paper. So this is the celery salt that I use. And then just garlic from Costco, salt and pepper. And when you put the chicken wings down before you bake, I like to put the little pointy part down underneath first, because this is bigger and it tends to just kind of keep it down there. So the little pointy part goes down. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, I have 15 wings here. I will put them in the oven. It's preheated at 450 degrees, and we will turn them about halfway through. So I'll set a timer. I usually don't time it, but I will just for this. I just cook them till they're done, but they're getting ready to go in the oven at 450 degrees. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, so we're going to just take a look at this chicken here. And what I often do is, let me get my oven glove on. I will pull out the pans and just rotate them like this. So the front's in the back and the back's in the front. Looks like I got a little leg sticking up there. So this is 20 minutes so far. So just rotate them around like this. And then check them again in about, kind of keep an eye on them now. Maybe in about 5 more minutes we'll look at them again. Let me move this one. There. Okay. Okay, so now it's been 25 minutes. They're still not ready to be turned over yet. You can see the ones in the back are getting a little bit more done. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll switch the oven racks, which means I'll take the top one and put it on the bottom rack and put the bottom one on the top rack, just to kind of keep the even temperature. But that's been 25 minutes so far. No. Yeah, 25 minutes so far. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken out and turn them. So, start with the top rack. Pull it out. They will start to really crisp up here just as soon as I turn them over and put them back in. So, been, like I said, about 45 minutes. So we're going to turn them over, all of them. Now this came off the top rack, so I'm going to put it on the bottom rack now. I'm going to switch the racks out. So I will pull the one out of the bottom rack and put it up here. And then I'm going to put this one, now that I've turned it over, on the bottom rack. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip these over just like the ones I just did. So just try to make sure they stay down there if you can. And sometimes you have to break a leg. That's okay. Okay, so flip them over. See, they're starting to get brown. They'll really finish up cooking now. Shouldn't be long, so we really want to kind of watch them because we don't want them to overcook. But with these, the trick is to let them cook till they're good and crunchy. So now this was the bottom rack. It is now going to go on the top rack. Okay. And we'll just keep watching the time and watching them and see what happens. All right, let's check here. It's been just under an hour. Looks to me like the top rack it's still not done though. I'd like it to be a little more crispy than that. So we're gonna just flip this around like this again. Push it in, check the bottom rack. And it looks like the bottom rack's not quite as done as the top rack. The top rack cooks a little faster, so we're gonna pick this out of here for a minute. Well, we stick this bottom rack up on the top. And then we'll put this back down here, because this is definitely getting closer to being done, but not quite. You want it to be nice and crunchy. So back in the oven again. So we're sitting right about 1 hour right now. So we want to really watch it. Okay, so far we've been in there for 1 hour and 10 minutes. We flipped them once. We're going to flip them again. Just because, I mean, you don't have to, but I'm going to. Flip them one more time, put them back in. We're starting to get exactly where we want, but the trick for these to be crispy and crunchy is to let them cook until they're real crunchy. See, you might have to break a leg like that, but that's okay. We're going to put these back in, keep watching them. Okay, our chicken has been in the oven baking for 1 hour and 20 minutes at 450 degrees. I'm tired of waiting for it, so I'm going to pull it out. It could still cook a little longer if you wanted, but that's pretty good. And let it kind of sit here for a minute and rest before you serve it. But it's pretty much good to go. At least it is today. I don't want to wait anymore. So here's what it looks like. Crispy, crunchy. There again, if you left it in there for another 5 or 10 minutes, you probably would get it even more crunchy, but I don't want to wait tonight. If I wasn't starving and didn't already have the rest of dinner cooked, I'd probably wait. But so 1 hour and 20 minutes is what we have here so far at 450 degrees in the oven. Flour, baking powder, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and celery salt mixed together. Paper towel dry the chicken wings before you dip them in the flour and bake them. Enjoy.